All right, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama joining Mark Rogers TV every Wednesday night to talk Alabama football, and this is a special edition as we break down the Iron Bowl, Auburn, and Alabama. Let's talk Bama defense against that Auburn offense that we knew was going to struggle out of the gate. It was a three-quarterback competition entering the fall. Sean White has emerged despite some confusion early on from Gus Malzahn and company in regards to who are we going to play in the position, and it may have cost them a game at home against Clemson in week one, but Sean White is the guy. Cameron Petway has turned into a beast at running back, although he's been hobbled up and nicked up a little bit in recent weeks. The Auburn offense, what do you see there? Do you see them possibly finding a way to dent the Alabama defense?
It's going to start with Cam Petway. First off, how healthy is he? What's the percentage on that? He's been battling a leg injury since the Vanderbilt game, did not play against Georgia, did not play against Alabama A&M. Now, Auburn could have gone without him those two games, but it needs him in this football game. He's 6 feet, 240 pounds. Media personnel have asked the Alabama defensive players, how does he stack up to Bo Scarborough? Bo Scarborough faster than Cameron Petway, but Cameron Petway is thicker than Bo Scarborough. We're talking 240 pounds for Petway, 228 pounds for Bo Scarborough. So Petway, a battery ram in the middle of an offensive unit, can hit the hole well. He's always falling forward, always picking up positive yardage, rarely is stopped. And he was the guy, Mark, that literally got Auburn to going back to what it once was, playing fast, hitting the edge, really showing that run-pass option attack with Sean White at quarterback. So Petway, a 1,000-yard rusher this season, 7 touchdowns. The key question, how healthy is he going into the football game? Because Arion Johnson, he's a special kid. But if you're an Auburn fan, you want to see Cam Petway on the field, period. And you want to see him healthy on the field, period. Number two, for Auburn, nice game shake up for Rhett Lashley and Gus Malzahn. That's number two. He's been efficient. He's been doable. Auburn wanted him to be, or would like for him to be, in managing what's going on. Yes, coming out of the gate, they would have loved to have seen more from Jeremy Johnson. Franklin III did not get that. Sean White came to the forefront. He's been the best at getting this team. Against Georgia, had a difficult shoulder injury. The shoulder injury we're going to have to see in this game. Did not play against Alabama A&M. Of course, the jury is still out on whether Sean White starts. How many reps does he get with that throwing shoulders? The question. Do you play a Jeremy Johnson? Do you play a John Franklin III? Putting the asterisk beside him because we haven't seen him develop as a passer yet. We know the brother can run. Seen him develop as a passer just yet. So who does Auburn start at quarterback, and how will they monitor the reps of each guy? And most importantly, which guy of those three can do enough passing the football, whether it's dink and dunking, whether it's slant routes, taking a shot downfield, if it's open, if it's there. It's a serious dice game between these three that Rhett Lashley and Gus Malzahn is going to have to shake up and let it fall as it may. This is Tony Stevens. He's going up against the secondary led by Minkah Fitzpatrick at safety. Can he find a way to get open, create some separation for him? As I flip to this Alabama defense, this is a defense that's very hungry for this game, Mark. And I know it's weird saying that, being that Alabama has beaten Auburn the last 2 seasons, Alabama winning the national championship this past year. But in my conversations with defensive end Jonathan Allen, game still haunts him. Kick 6 games still lingers in the back of the mind of Jonathan Allen. That was the game that introduced the 2013 recruiting class, heavy recruiting class that had the likes of Jonathan Allen, Ashawn Robinson, who's now in the NFL, Bradley Bozeman, who's the center for Alabama, Tim Williams, Reuben Foster, Eddie Jackson, unfortunately hurt now, but yes, Eddie Jackson. A lot of these guys, Iron Bowl against Auburn, put a bad taste in college football experience, and those guys remember that game. Told me straight up, Auburn took away a national championship from that team. 13 year in which a chance to do something that not even USC could have done, not even USC did, with Pete Carroll as his head coach, and that was win 3 national championships. Alabama was on the verge of doing it. Won in 2012, but that 2013 Iron Bowl was what tripped it up. So Allen very much so focused for this game. This entire team defensively very much so focused for this game. But if you're Auburn, how healthy is Cam Petway? How productive can he be? And number 2 for Rhett Lashley is you're pretty much digging a needle out of the haystack here when you talk about which quarterback is going to give you the best possible chance to do enough to get this into the fourth quarter.
Tim Williams had 14 tackles for loss and 8 sacks. Jonathan Allen, we know how devastating he's been in making huge plays throughout the season at 9.5 tackles for loss and 7 sacks, and been so disruptive that he's on the Heisman watch list, along with Ryan Anderson, obviously coming from that other corner at 14.5 tackles for loss and 9.5 sacks. Stephen, when you've got the defense that Auburn does, but the limitations on offense that the Tigers do, you can look at it 2 ways. Offensively, do you say, okay, because we've got the defense, but we're limited on offense, do we try to deflate the football, squeeze down the game, and play a run the clock, run the football game, and give our defense a chance to win maybe 17-13? Or we just can't hang with them for 4 quarters. We got to take our shots. We got to play aggressive. We got to message to our team that we're going to be aggressive. We're going to go after it. I think the answer falls somewhere in between. I think you run the clock, the play clock. I think you run the ball and establish, but you take your shots when you think the opportunity's there, and you run maybe a few trick plays that you've been working on since June. Maybe that's the formula for an Auburn upset, possibly.
I think that's absolutely the formula. And I go back to the 2009 Iron Bowl just to give a little bit of a picture here. The 09 Iron Bowl, remember when Terrell Zachary had the end around play for the 67-yard touchdown? Auburn came back with the West Byram onside kick. Darvin Adams had a huge game that year. Of course, quarterback was slinging the pigskin. So you're Auburn in this game. You have to take some shots.
Yeah, that's one of the best Iron Bowls we've seen in years against a tied team that obviously emerged to win the national championship and is one of the better college football teams that we've seen over the last couple of decades. But Auburn, I believe, just went 7-5 that year, but they had the Tide on the ropes before Greg McElroy and company put together a late drive. All right, Stephen M., I'll have my prediction later in the week, but we're going to put you on the line here with Bama as an 18.5-point favorite. What do you see in this one?
Alabama does not cover. I got it 28-14. Bama 28-14. They do not cover that line. Auburn's going to come out fighting. If it beats Georgia, it's a winner-take-all Iron Bowl for the SEC West. Auburn's playing with pride. 28-14 Alabama.
All right, folks, it's rivalry week, and this is arguably the best. That's always a discussion out there. The Iron Bowl. Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama joining us every week. Stephen, we always appreciate the time.
Mark, thank you. You and your family have an amazing Thanksgiving.
Yes, you have a happy Thanksgiving as well. We'll catch you next week.